Florida Band Podcast. We are back, and we are about to rock your worlds. We're about to be so transparent, so translucent. It's gonna be like John Cena had a baby. This is gonna be, this is gonna be wild.
Oh my god!
All we're gonna do this episode is talk about all the times we've up being teachers.
Yeah, the outtakes. Oh, that's what this can be called. Teacher outtakes.
Teacher outtakes. There you go.
Heck yeah.
All right, who wants to go first? Oh, also, there are no beverages involved in the recording of this podcast episode.
Yes, we decided against that.
Or any type of substance.
Because it's like 12:30 on a Sunday. So yeah, we're talking about all of our failures today. I guess I'll start. We
gotta include internship as well. Student teaching.
Oh heck yeah. Okay. Well, then I'll start with that. So my first experience internship wise today, or my first experience in terms of internship was I went out with my ex-girlfriend and I did drunk bowling on like a Wednesday, because like where we were doing they offered dollar pitchers. Yeah, so we did dollar pitchers with my ex-girlfriend. I go in the next morning to teach 8 a.m. jazz band, and the teacher is like, hey, let's do Birdland today. And I was like, no! So I taught the whole 8 a.m. jazz band, and then I felt like garbage the whole time. I was super hungover. I actually went to the bathroom, and I just sat on the toilet for a second just to collect myself, and I actually got like sick again. And I was like, oh my God, like I felt like garbage. And so then I sat there for maybe like half the planning period. And so I got up and I went back to the office, and he was like, you went out last night, didn't you? I was like, yeah. He was, you regret it? I go, yeah. And so Evan, I felt like garbage the whole day, because that day was also, we had a rehearsal afterwards, after school. So I was there from like 7:30 a.m. to like 5. And,
hey, at least you were early.
Oh, I mean, oh God, dude, it was so bad.
Bad day.
Yeah, I mean, I had, how many hours of sleep did I get? I got maybe like 3. It was awful. And ever since then, I have never drunk that much. I've never drank that much during a weekday ever again. I've stayed out pretty late, after the All County rehearsal. A bunch of us in Palm Beach County, we stayed out pretty late this past week, but like I wasn't drinking the entire time.
So while you're working, you're not doing that. You haven't done
No. And so that was
yeah, let's be clear.
Yeah, no, it was pretty rough, and like I felt like absolute the whole day. It was not good. Not good. So that's my first big one, because you said to include from internship. So I was like, ooh, I got a perfect one.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, because I'm sitting here thinking, if I just assumed I had something from when I was student teaching, but I don't,
bro.
Not anything that affected my teaching, because I put that first and everything else went on the back burner.
Yeah.
And so that was a mistake, but it didn't affect like my actual internship, I guess, in a way. Okay, I do have something. It's not my internship, but it was actually my first interview. My first job interview.
Okay.
So, the interview for my first job.
Go
my
on.
First teaching job. So, I can't remember, because they brought us in twice to interview. Wait, was it twice? So moral of the story is, sleep, because
do you look like shit?
I can't remember. I just can't remember. So I was in that limbo stage for the last month or 2 or 3 of my senior year at CSU, right? Where I had no idea where I was going to end up in the next 2 or 3 months. Like, I didn't know what was next for me. And so that stressed the hell out of me. So I was not sleeping. I was not eating well. And I can't remember if it was the first interview or not, but it was one of the interviews, and it was extremely important, right? Mm-hmm. And I had one of those depression sleeps where you just can't get out of bed.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And the day of the interview is 90 minutes away. I don't leave the house until like 60 minutes.
Nailed it.
So, but listen, dude, back roads, Georgia, I'm going 90. I'm going 90 and I don't get pulled over. It was the most amazing thing. And I show up, I think 5 or 10 minutes late, and they weren't even ready for me anyway. So I got off scot-free and I did get the job. But yeah.
Sure. That's crazy.
That was a big mess up for me.
For my first year teaching, my biggest mistake that I've ever made was my first year teaching. I tried to, in my first job, because I had 2 jobs my first year teaching. I tried to emulate my mentor, my internship teacher, Brian Sullivan, who, if you don't know who Brian is in Florida, your head is under a rock. But like in terms of it, because he's like the adjudication.
I don't think I realized you interned with him.
I did. Well, it's similar to you. I grew up down the road from him. He and I, like, his house was 2 houses down from mine, so he grew up with me. And so when I interned with him, it was similar to AJ and Edgar, where like we just hit the ground running. But he was such an intense teacher, because he was old school, and he's a very type A individual, very organized, but he's very intense. And I would try to mimic that my first year teaching, because no one had told me just be your most authentic self. And I was always nervous to be my most authentic self, because have you met me? Like, and so I would try to emulate him. And in my first job, I was just too intense all the time. I got really angry all the time, and I would, unfortunately not realize that I'd be taking out on the kids and ruining their experience. And I got it became such a sour fit that I had to leave. And then I ended up at Coniston, and everything was fine because I learned the lesson. But like, it was the idea that I was just like so angry all the time, which isn't me as a person. Like, nowadays I'm like, man, now you got to make me care. But like, it was just so funny, because I would think, what would Sullivan do? And then I would do it. And I'm like, my first couple years teaching, I would record myself teaching just to catch things I didn't like, not even just for the sake of band pedagogy, but for teaching pedagogy. And I'd be like, oh my God, like what an like, and so to any kids who were in 6th grade in 2015, at that school, God bless you, because man, that guy was an but like, it was pretty bad.
To piggyback off that,
which is my favorite. My favorite phrase ever is that. So thank you for that. Thanks.
My first year teaching, so this job that I almost didn't get because I was sleeping in, I was like that too. I was angry all the time, and I was trying to be Dr. Nix at this Podunk middle school. Not to disrespect the middle school, because the kids ended up being good, but I thought I was going to be, DOB, and instead of just like teaching band, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so, trying to be a big dog.
Yeah, but I just didn't know any better, and it especially didn't help that, my entire internship was high school. So I didn't have to teach a whole lot of, at least I didn't think I had to teach a whole lot of fundamentals during that time, right? So when I, started having to do beginning band, and then, taking over a school where the band was, it still needed a lot of work. Yeah, I got real frustrated. I hit a music stand one time because I was upset that this kid was writing his notes on his music. And so like I smacked the stand to grab his paper, right? To grab the paper off the stand. And the stand almost hit the kid in front of this kid. So like the stand, so it almost hit another student. Thankfully it didn't, but like it scared her to the point where she was crying. And so that was a reality check for me to like, yo, you're too angry over what? Yeah. He wrote his notes. That's when my whole thing started. My whole outlook started shifting from like the kid is not learning, like he doesn't want to learn, versus he's just trying his best and I just need to meet him where he's at so he doesn't have to write his notes anymore. That's where that shift started for me. So I'm grateful for that experience early on, but I did get in trouble,
Sure. Oh, sure.
So,
Same. And that's why I'm in Palm Beach. 8 weeks. 8 weeks in is how long I lasted because I couldn't. I was too angry and the whole school turned.
8 weeks. Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Wasn't good. I started in Coniston in January 2016. Like I was out October 16th. I think is where I was out. Yeah, it sucks, but I like Palm Beach.
No. I mean, look. That's what this episode's about.
It's all about outtakes, baby. I'm not saying I feel bad because like it's been 8 years and I'm fine.
For me, when I got to West Glades, I tried to change too much too soon, and I didn't have to.
I think that's more common among high school though, because with high school, depending on the director, the marching band can take a turn, and it usually always, like, from what I've seen, it's like always the marching band that shifts. That takes too big of a shift. And it's like, sometimes it's like, oh, well, we're going to do core style. Oh, we're super competitive, but we're going to tone down the competition. And then people, cry.
All right, let's close this up. Thank y'all for listening. More failures to come because we're just a bunch of